Hey, good morning, guys. Sean here, and I just wanted to drop you guys a quick message today. Wanted to talk a little bit about some foundation stuff. Just sharing a lot of information that's coming through to me that I'm processing, and it's just really impactful to me. And I just wanted to share some things about foundation and building a right foundation and cultivating a right foundation. And if you look back many years ago, you'd look at how a foundation or how a house was built. You know, they had to prepare the ground. They had to make sure that it was nice and flat and leveled. And if it was not flat and leveled, they made sure that they made the right adjustments in the land so that you can be able to keep the house leveled and straight. So you have to dig into the side of the mountain or dig into the side of the hill to be able to create that level foundation or that level flat surface so you can actually have a straight and true home. So one of the things, if you look at old history and you look at how bricks were made, bricks are the main, they hold a lot of pressure. They can withstand a lot of different elements. But one thing that if you really look into how a brick was made back in the BC, you had mud, water, and straw. And, it's being able to have the right mixture of mud to straw so that it's not too dry and it's not too wet. You have to have those balances, those weights, those measurements just perfectly measured out so that you can have and construct the right brick. And when you pack a lot of those bricks, of course, you can withstand a lot of pressure. That's when you can actually hold up the roof of a house or even the walls of a house, or have something strong enough to withstand some storms and some weather, some rain, and all those treacherous conditions that houses have to deal with. And the same thing with life. If you look back, let's look at the more modern foundation building. You have that cornerstone. You want to be that cornerstone. You want to have that right type of mentality. You want to have that right type of thought process. You want to have that right type of molding so that you, as the cornerstone, can withstand all those things that you're wanting to accomplish. Most people, if you go on any building in your downtown area, metropolitan area, you will find the cornerstone. The cornerstone is the first stone that's laid in a foundation or in the creation of that structure. Most of the time it's dated. Most of the time they make this big celebration of how this building is going to be coming up, and this structure is going to be coming up. And if it doesn't mean that when you lay that cornerstone that there's not going to be challenges down the road, that there's not going to be material issues, that there's not going to be staff issues, construction company issues or whatever like that. It just means that this stone was laid first and it was laid true, and everything else will be laid off of that. And you want to be that type of stone. You want to be that type of person in your life, in your family's life, in your business life, your personal life, your spiritual life. You want to be that stone. You want to be that point where everything else is built off of. Yes, that is a lot of responsibility, but at the same time, if you do it right, you can literally raise up a building or a skyscraper or monument, for others to see for years to come. I was taking some notes here and I was looking at, if you don't have the right structure, if you don't have the right foundation, if you don't have the bricks laid properly, you can literally bring down a house. A lot of people will try to rush through the process. A lot of people won't if you're going back into the time of brick making BC, it needs that time in the sun to be able to cure and to be able to dry and form. And so all those ingredients will mesh and be able nice and strong for you. If you try to rush through that process, yes, you will have the fastest built house, but at the same time, you're going to have the weakest house. You can't rush the process. Brick making and foundation laying is something that should be meticulously done with all the care, with all the proper expectation. No cost spared. If you're trying to rebuild your life, if you're trying to get to another direction where you want to be in life, you want to take the time to build and lay that proper foundation for that cornerstone to sit on. You want to make sure that you get rid of some of the stuff that you may need to get rid of. Yes, it's like that. You know, you may have to purge some things that you've grown really accustomed to. You may have to get rid of some people in your life that you might not really want to. You might have to actually think and go within and deal with some of the demons that you may be dealing with from your past or from the things that have been thrust upon you. You know, we can't necessarily control what happens to us, but we can control how we deal with it. We can't, like when you're building a house or building a building, you can't really predict what storms are going to come 20, 30 years from now. But if you do the proper things and the first brick being laid and the first piece of that foundation being laid, you know that you're going to at least have a shot. And if there's issues going forward, you can always go back and move and make changes as you need to. The house does not have to come down. You know, you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, if you will. You want to be able to investigate and find those issues and those cracks that you have in your life, or even in your business plan, or in your team within business. You know, you might have to replace some key individuals and train some people up to take over some of those roles where you may have not had the right person in play. Even in like I said, within your personal life, you may have to restructure, move things around, create some new thinking. As a good friend of mine, some stinking thinking, you may have to change that. We've talked a lot about that in the past and how you can change those things, making sure that you make right choices, read books, changing your positive influence. When you're making bricks, you want to make sure that you have the truest form. You want to make sure that the materials that you're using to build your house is right. And I'm not just talking a physical house, a home. I'm talking about your personal house, your financial house. There's a lot of things that you have to go back and do in order to have the results that you need. Some of us were presented a home. This is what's going on. That's why we have building inspections to go in and tell us, hey, this is what you have going on. This is what you need done. This is a problem that I see down the path. If that was done, and most of them are, but if you're doing these things along the way, you'll be able to really, truly head off any major catastrophes. You know, brick laying is an important foundation in many aspects of your life. And I know that if you take the time and really weed out some of those things that you need to, you'll start to have that positive influence and you'll start to have that positive impact that you want in your life. So I wanted to share these things with you. It's a good thing to really just delve into. Take some time over this next week to really think about what bricks have been laid for you. What bricks can you lay for your future going forward? And how can you put the proper things in place so that you lay the right cornerstone to build the rest of your life? Things may not have always been the greatest for you, but now is the opportunity. Now is that chance for you to take control. And if you need to wipe the slate clean and start again, do so. If you can just make some minor modifications to your foundation and reformat and break up some things and lay some more concrete down to shore it up, do that too. But be willing to do whatever it takes. Not just what it takes, but whatever it takes to make your foundation strong for your future. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll